Hi guys, I'm just going to tag the comment where I mentioned what we're doing today. Yes, I think I got that comment pinned. Yes, I will tell you what all material you'll be using. I'll show you each of the materials and I'll talk about why I'm using these particular materials too. I will turn off comments once I get to the painting part. We'll just wait for a few minutes so that more people can join in. Hi to everyone who's saying hi. So in case you've not noticed, what we are going to be doing today is this, a little watercolor galaxy. We're going to be doing more than one and I'll show you why too. What brushes do we need? So technically you can use any brush that you have, provided it's a slightly larger size, because we are going to be working with watercolor. It requires you to work fast on a surface that's wet. So ideally use something that is a size 6 or larger. I'll mention the brushes that I'm using to you in this introduction. Okay, so yeah, we are going to be making some watercolor galaxies. You can do it on A4. I'm going to be doing it as a small bookmark because I want to teach you more than one in this little time frame that we have. So I think I'll start now. I'll get to the materials that I'll be using. So I'm going to be using these watercolors. It's a professional set. It's called Mission Gold, Mijello Mission Gold watercolors. It's a pretty looking set with beautiful tubes. I'll be using mostly the blues, a little violet and some pink. But in case you don't have something like this, you can use your regular camel watercolors, or I'm also going to be making another painting using this. This is a little kids watercolor set. This is by Doms. It's like for 200 rupees or something, I guess. It's pretty good. I'm going to be using this. Okay, so for my papers, I'm going to be using a tiny watercolor sheet. I'm going to be using two types. So right now I don't have the Scholar watercolor sheets, but from what I have tried out, it's kind of similar to both of these, because this one is a rough textured one. I'll show it to you properly when I flip it over to my back camera. And this is a 300 GSM cold pressed one. I will show you the difference between both. Yeah, I'll show it to you when I flip the camera, it'll be more clear. I'll also be using this. So this is a little decor sketchbook that's Scholar Store sells. It's a really cute little size. I have the A6, and I use this a lot for like just random sketching. If you want, I'll take you to a tour of the sketchbook once I'm like done with the tutorial. So this book is really good because it's got acid-free cartridge paper. So cartridge paper is something that is very versatile. You can use it with watercolors, you can use it with pencils, you can use it with pen, fountain pen, anything. So this is what I'll be using for one of the galaxy paintings. Watercolor on canvas is not a very good idea because canvas is usually primed for acrylics and for oil, not for watercolor. But you do get special types of canvases for watercolor. But watercolor is always good on paper. I don't know why you would want to put a canvas. Yes, I will show the sketches probably at the end if we have some time. Okay, then I also have white poster color. So why I'm using poster color is I have made a little swatch card over here where I have tried. Oh wow, I didn't realize it would be flipped on camera. So basically this one is done with white watercolors, this one is done with poster colors, this is done with acrylic, and this is done with a Uniball white pen. Okay, so white watercolors, while they are good to, like, make colors into pastel colors, they are not very visible when you put them on a darker color, which is why I wouldn't advise you to use white watercolors. Use poster, acrylic, or a white pen. If you don't have it, you can just skip it. I mean, you don't necessarily need to have a lot of stars in your galaxy. Try using something like a white crayon, whatever works. Just experiment and try. Watercolor cakes are fine. As I said, I'll be doing one of my galaxy paintings with this. This is a little kid set by Doms. I'll be using this to make one of my galaxy paintings. Apart from that, my brushes, yes. So I'm going to be using two brushes today. They are roughly the same size. But the difference between these is that this one is specially a watercolor brush, which means it's got bristles that are really soft. Really soft, and it absorbs a lot of water. You can use the regular brush if you have. This is what I have, so I'm using it. I'll show you the brand name just a second. Himalaya Golden Sable Series 14. I got this from a store in Mumbai. 12 shades watercolors, even like 3 shades if you have blues, it's perfect. You just need blue, 2-3 shades of blue, maybe a violet, and probably a green or a pink. Okay, so all these, the book that I'm using for this tutorial, I'm going to be using this. This is one of the Scholar journals. It's called a Decor Sketchbook, and it's got really nice acid-free paper. We'll be making something like this. Okay, so now that I've introduced most of my materials, I think we can go ahead with the actual drawing. So I'm just going to shift my camera. I'll also be turning off the comments right now, but the questions are on, so you can use the question box below to ask your questions. Okay. Oh yeah, my other brush. So this is another regular size 6 brush. It's a little more firmer than my watercolor brush, and this is what I'm going to use to make the stars and to make the black silhouette that we have here. Okay, if you have questions, please put them in the question box below. You can try using regular drawing paper. It usually works. Watercolor usually works on everything. You'll just get different effects, which is not bad. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my papers. So I have one which is rough textured. So if you can see the texture here, I doubt you can. It's slightly rough, and this absorbs a lot of water, so it's pretty easy to make a lot of textures on this. So I'm going to be taking one of this, and one is cold pressed watercolor. So this has a slightly less texture, but it also absorbs watercolor really well. I am taping down my papers because I like how the neat edges look. But if you don't have tape, it's perfectly fine. You can just paint on them naturally. I'm going to be painting on the book without tape, so that's fine. Okay, regarding tape, this is the tape I'm using. This is something called masking tape. I buy it from a hardware store. It comes as this little roll. It's kind of like paper, looks like paper. So when you put this on the paper, it doesn't, the paint doesn't get to where the paper is, where the tape is, I'm sorry. So I'm just taping the edges to make it look neat. I will tell you how I use my tube colors. Tube colors are much easier to use than watercolor cakes, although cakes are more portable. can use poster colors, just dilute it a bit so that you get the blending that that watercolor has. See, I'm just going to be teaching you a few techniques on how you can make this galaxy painting. You can try it out with whatever medium you have. A5 size is perfectly fine. You can make it as small or as big as you can. I'm making it small like this just because I want to finish 3 in this 1 hour session that we have. For those of you who haven't already, please go and check out scholarstore.in. They have a lot of amazing stationery products that I almost regularly used to buy before this lockdown happened. Especially their sketchbooks, they're really good. They have a watercolor pad which is 300 GSM cold pressed. Really good quality stuff. They have amazing photos of all their products on their Instagram page too, which is Scholar eStore, where you're watching the live right now. So do go and check that out too. Okay, and before I start, I'm just going to talk about so the paints that I have, I don't use it directly from the tube. I put it into a little palette here. So I put it into this palette so that it's easy for me to mix, and also so that it's easy for me to carry around. If you don't have a brush, I'm not very sure how you can make this painting because it requires a little bit of brush control. You can use a whitener instead of a paint or white pen. Yes, that totally works. Somebody's asking me if normal tape works. It sometimes tears off your paper, but if you can experiment a little and see, probably you'll find a tape that works well for you. Okay, so I'm going to be starting with the tutorial right now. So first thing that I'm going to do is I'm taking my watercolor brush. So this is this is size 5, I guess, Himalaya Golden Sable. I'm going to be using this because it absorbs a lot of water and it's pretty soft for watercolor painting. So my first step is I'm just going to wet this entire surface with clean water. I'm just using clean water, and I'm also going over the tape because remember that as long as the tape is on, it will not come on the paper. Okay, I think I'll start with this one first and then I will move on to the next. You can use Camel watercolor cakes, that's perfectly fine. That is what I used to use till like last year. Okay, so in a galaxy painting, one of the important things we have to remember is something called contrast. So can you see these two colors? They both are the same shade of blue. Just here I have given only 1 coat, therefore it's quite light. And here I've given it around 3 coats, which makes it more bright. On a lighter background, the white is quite difficult to see and it doesn't look really bright. Whereas when your background is really dark, that white looks much whiter than usual. Okay, so this is the basic principle with which we are going to make our galaxy, because as you can see, the sides are really dark and the center is really light. Okay, yeah, I think we can go ahead with that. So now that my paper is wet, I'm going to be taking a few drops of water here in my palette, and I'm just taking a little bit of this one is cerulean blue. I'm using Magello Mission Gold colors, but if you don't have this, perfectly fine. I'll be using some student grade colors too to teach you. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm just taking the colors and I'm dabbing it on the paper. Remember, the paper is soaking wet, that's why it's spreading so beautifully. Okay, I'm not going to paint the center much. I'm going to leave the center white as of now. Then I'm taking maybe an ultramarine blue, which is slightly darker, and I'm also going to put that on the sides. So the thing with watercolor is you have to work a little fast because you can't go too slow. See, if I go slow, the color doesn't come at all. I'm just dropping in some color and it spreads automatically because the paper is wet. Okay, let me just look at the questions again. You need to wet it because we are doing a wet on wet technique. So because this is watercolor paper, there's a beautiful blend that happens when the paper is wet. But if you try this on regular paper, what happens is usually the paper gets all wobbly. Okay, so now I'm going to take much more water, and with a very diluted blue, I'm going over the center too. Can you see already how it is darker in the sides and lighter in the center? So if you see any hard edges, like here I find there's a very straight line that will not look good in our final galaxy. I'm just going to take a little paint and go over it with swirls. Just softly swirling over it. Okay, I'm taking a little more paint for the edges. I'm moving my brush in circles because I want to give the illusion of, say, like a cloudy sky, cloudy galaxy. You can place your orders in Scholar Store right now, but they will deliver it after the lockdown. I think there's a sale going on where there's a 15% off in whatever you order, so do check that out. Okay, I'm also taking a little bit of purple. I mean, it's totally optional. You just need to put like a few shades of blue and maybe some pink if you want to make a purple. But I have a purple here, so I'm just going to drop some of that in on the edges. Okay, and as we come down, what I'm going to do is, instead of putting blue, I'm going to add a little bit of bright green, just to give it that added freshness, you know, and maybe the look of like Northern Lights. Again, going in circles to blend this. Whoopsie, dropped a drop of water here. I just wipe that off. Yeah, you also should have a cloth in handy because that's pretty important when you're using watercolors. Okay, so the key here is darker colors on more saturated color actually at the edges and lighter colors in the middle. A lot of people have asked me how to make purple from the Camel watercolor cakes because that's usually 18 shades. From what I have discovered, experimented and figured out, the two colors in the middle, which is a a crimson red and a blue, they make the best combination for purple. So if you have Camel colors, do try that out. It gives a really pretty intense purple. I will turn on commenting in a while after I'm done with the tutorial because otherwise it gets really distracting for people when half the screen is covered. Okay, so again I see that I have these two hard edges here. I'm just taking a wet brush and I'm going to go over it again in circles. So using these circles, I'm just blending it in. Okay. But now I feel like my center is not white enough, so I'm just going to take my cloth and I'm dabbing it a bit. You can only do this with watercolor paper because it doesn't absorb it as fast as printer paper or something would. Okay, so now that I have this one layer ready, I think I'll go to the next one. You can try it on, I will do it on a sketchbook too. I'm going to be using the Scholar Decor sketchbook to do maybe a little, I'm going to try out something like this. So you can try it on a regular sketchbook too. Okay, so this was the rough watercolor paper. While this dries, I'll work on the cold pressed one too. So this is relatively smooth as compared to this, but the colors are also much more vibrant. So I'm going to be doing the same thing again. But now my water is a little blue, which doesn't matter. It still works for this painting since it's going to be almost all blue. So I'm wetting my whole paper again. Okay, and then I'm taking some color. Okay, so when you're using tube colors, never take it directly from the pan to your paper, because there may be like granules of color that will get onto your paper, and then it will be very difficult to spread it out. So just do the easy thing, mix it out here in your palette and drop it in. I love seeing how watercolor spreads. So pretty. There will be a video, this video will be saved later on Scholar Restore's Instagram page. It will also be saved for 24 hours on their stories, so you can check it out later too if you're busy now. I'm just using multiple shades of blue and purple to do this. So basically our goal is the same. We want to make contrast, we want to make a contrast between the middle and the edges, for which we are going to be using darker colors on the corners and lighter colors in the middle. So I'm going to be diluting this blue. I've taken some water and a little bit of blue, and I'm going to just swirl it into the center here. And here, instead of using green, I think I'll use a little bit of pink, just for some fun. I know it looks too pink right now, but wait, we will just make that into a pretty little purple. Okay, so now that I have made it all wet and I have put my colors on it, it's looking really light, right? But if I try to put any more color on it, it's just going to spread out and it won't look, it will not make it any darker, so we have to wait for it to dry. And I'll just check the questions by then. I am washing my brush quite often because I don't want to ruin my watercolors in the palette. If you're using just one color, you don't need to. You just need to dip it when you need water. I don't want like my ultramarine to get into my other blues and mess that up. The tape will not absorb water. It will keep the water away from, it will keep the water and paints away from the paper, so that that area is like completely white. Okay, so I'll do one thing. I'll keep this aside to dry for a while, and we'll move on to our Scholar sketchbook. Yeah, so this is what I'm going to be using as of now. It's got this is an A6 size decor sketchbook. It's got acid-free cartridge paper. Acid-free is super important because it ensures that your paper does not get yellow over the years. Okay, so for this, I'm not going to be using my professional watercolors. I'm going to be using this. So this is a children's set which is super vibrant, and I especially like this because it's very chalky. So even if you don't get the traditional watercolor effect with it, it's really bright, and especially when you're using something that is not watercolor paper, it's much easier to do it with student grade colors. I'm also using the brush that comes with this pack. I'm not using anything fancy for this, just one brush. It will not, okay, somebody said it's not giving the same texture on plain paper. It will not, the texture depends on what paper you're using, because watercolor is something that is just dyeing your paper. It is not creating a texture of its own as such. Okay, so I'm wetting my brush and I'm taking a little bit of this dark blue. I'm just going to put a few drops in and swirl it around to activate the paint. And now when I'm doing that, I'm just going to swirl it around on the paper and create a little pattern. See, I'm moving around in circles, and for this one I'm not using any tape because I want to make an irregular pattern. I'm just using the darkest blue I have as of now, adding in a little water. Don't add too much water for cartridge paper because it's not meant for watercolors, therefore it will drop a bit. So just try using more paint and less water. I'm just making this little cloudy kind of shape. I'm swirling the brush. Okay, somebody's asked how do we make pink. So technically you make pink by mixing white and red, but that's not a very good idea if you want to figure out better ways of color mixing. I have a highlight on my Instagram channel which is Summer Scribbles, where I have been teaching color mixing for a few days now. You can go and check that out. I've done a lot of really interesting sketches in this book, which I really enjoyed doing. Probably at the end of the video, if there's some time, I'll go over it again and show you. Okay, I'm making the circle smaller as we go down. And the same principle applies here, lighter in the center, darker in the sides. I'm just dabbing the center with a cloth. This is not a wet cloth, it's a dry cloth, okay? I'm going over it again just to dry it a bit. Tube colors last a really long time if you use professional ones because very little paint is required to get a really vibrant color. Watercolor is actually the cheapest medium you can invest in. It's really good. Okay, now that I have done that blue, I'm taking a little more lighter blue and I'm going to go over it again. So now that we've established the shape of it with the darker blue, I'm just using a lighter blue and I'm going in the same shape. If your paper gets very warped while using watercolor, your paper probably isn't right for watercolor, but you can do your best. So if you go to my page, I have a highlight called line and wash. So that is a technique that I use when I have paper that is not meant for watercolors. I do a really light wash on it after making the initial illustration with a pen. I'm taking some purple right now and I'm going to be putting that also at the edges. Okay, so now if you can see there's a very hard edge over here and I don't want that to happen. So I'm holding my brush at an angle and just slowly turning it around. This ensures that there's no hard surface, edge to what we are painting. If you can see, my paper is getting warped too, but because this paper is pretty thick, it gets back flat once it is dry. Okay, I've got a lot of questions asking if this can be done on regular paper. I mean, you won't know when you unless you try it, right? There are some papers where it does work and some where you'll find it is peeling off. If so, just try another paper, that's it. A galaxy painting is super easy because all you're trying to do is blend three colors that anyway want to blend together. By three colors, I mean blue, purple and pink. I'm just having fun right now, mixing whatever colors I feel should be mixed into it, and then blending it out with a wet brush. But one thing I would like to tell you is, even if you want your galaxy to be like really dark and intense, don't use black. It just dulls the whole thing down. just try to use, layer up your color and make the blues as dark as possible. Don't use black. So the bookmark that I have made is kind of dry right now, so I think we can do the next layer on this. Let me keep these paints aside for now. I mean, okay, so there are some asking me if they can do this on normal paper, it's instead of making a bookmark. This is the regular paper that I have just cut into this shape and size of a bookmark. You can definitely make it on larger paper if you wish to. So now that my colors are dried, I'm going to be doing the same thing again. Because now my color stays on, it doesn't blend into the water. Right now I've not made the whole paper wet, I'm just using very watery watercolors. Okay, and so I'm taking my wet brush without paint in it and blurring the edges. I'm going in soft circles right now. Again, taking a little bit of violet and dropping that in. So now, since we had put a layer of blue on this, the paper is wet. Therefore, the purple will blend nicely into the blue. Okay, I see a hard edge here that I don't necessarily want. So I'm taking a wet brush and just rubbing that in too. So this is on rough watercolor paper and this is cold pressed. You get lovely textures with both of them. Try out to see which one works for you better. I'm using a cloth to just dab off the center because I want it to remain white. And I'm again using a wet brush to just blur the center. Okay, so now let's work on our other one, the one that's on cold press paper. Again, taking some blue and I'm going in circles. There's a lot of pigment on my brush and I'm just using the brush to go over it in circles. Taking some purple too, dropping it to the edges. See, no matter what paper you use, the technique of it is the same. You need to have it darker in some parts so that the white is brighter. You're increasing the contrast. I'm just using a wet brush to go over this again, maybe add a little more pink. So those of you who don't have watercolor paper, I would suggest doing it on regular paper but with student grade colors, because from what I have experimented, student grade colors don't work well on professional watercolor paper and vice versa. So your best bet is to use student grade supplies with student grade products. Dropping in some more of my darker blue on the edges. And maybe a little more purple. I want it to be darker than this. Just wiping the edge also because there's a lot of water collected there. Okay, so now that we're done with this much, let's go back to our scholar book. So this painting has dried a little. I'm just going to take a little brush and maybe draw a... I think the last time what I did is I drew a little bottle. I can do the same thing now too. You can draw this with a pen also. I just have paint on handy, so I'm going to make it in paint. So it looks like the galaxy is coming out of this bottle. I'm dropping in a little bit of a shadow also here. You know, something that's really interesting would be if you can draw your star sign on this. That will be really cool. The paper, okay, somebody has asked me if the paper gets stoned because of too much water. So usually that happens if you're using water paper that is not meant for watercolor. If you rub it a lot, it'll tear off into small pieces. That happens even with cartridge paper that's of lower quality. The only thing I can tell you is try to make your painting in as little strokes as possible. Use a lot of pigment and don't go over it too much. Oh, why am I using this? Wait, I am going to be using the DOMS watercolors for this. Just to make the edges a little more darker. And blur it out. Is there any way to lift off the color from the paper if it is excess? Yes, that is how you correct mistakes in watercolor. If you need to make it more wet, add more water and then dab it up. You can even dab it up with a dry brush. So for example, I'm just cleaning my brush right now. I'm drying it on this tissue. And then I'm going to go into the watercolor and just lift off some of the paint. I'm swirling my brush here so that it lifts off easily. Okay, so I'll keep this aside to dry and we'll come back to our other two. It's not yet dry, so I'm going to be doing a little hack. Please don't do this because it often does ruin the texture of your watercolor painting. I'm going to be using a hairdryer. Please don't do this, guys. Wait for it to dry most of the time. I just have like 3 to do and limited time, so I'm going to just use this. Okay, so it is a little dry right now. And a lot of you all have been asking me what to do if hard edges appear. I'll just show you what happens, okay? So if I have a lot of water and I make a painting, and if I do this, can you see? It creates some hard edges on the sides. So best thing that you can do for that is take a wet brush and just blur it out. That's the best thing you can do if you get hard edges. But a lot of times those hard edges really look nice, especially if you're making a galaxy painting. You can make them look like clouds. Okay, so now that we have done this, you can keep adding more layers as you wish to make it as dark as you want, but I think I'm pretty happy with this. So what I'm going to do right now is the stars. This is where your poster color comes in. Somebody's asked me if I use a horizontal or vertical board while painting. I usually just use my lap. Watercolor is such an awesome thing that you can carry it around and do whatever you want with it. It's really beautiful. You don't even need like a proper surface to paint on it most of the time. Okay, so now with poster color. So this is something that I hated as a child, but I've begun to get used to it right now. So the thing that most of us go wrong with it is that we use it directly from the bottle. But what I'm going to do is I'm taking a little palette. You can use your same watercolor palette too, I don't mind that. Take some clean water actually. I'm just using the one that I have because it's a big bottle. Take some of the paint into your palette and add some water and stir it till it is nice and bubbly. So that the pigments are nicely crushed and they mix evenly. Okay, so once your paint is mixed, there are like tiny bubbles in that you can see, which means the pigments are properly mixed right now. I'm just going to load my brush with it. Okay, and what I'm going to do is, okay, let me close this. I'm going to tap my brush on my finger so that it creates splatters for the sky. Your brush should not be too wet because otherwise it will create really huge splatters which you don't want. And yes, your finger does start to hurt by doing this. You can do the same thing with acrylic paints too. So by doing this splattering technique, you will get different sizes of stars. Some will be small, some will be big, some will be in clusters like this. This is so pretty. And that's it. Your stars are ready. So somebody's asked me if the colors in the palette dry or can they be reused. Watercolors can always be reused. They reactivate once you wet them. So I usually never clean my palette. I actually just clean the side where I have to show you the mixing. If you see the rest of my palette, I already have pre-mixed colors over there. And I don't wash them ever because if I just put some water in it, I can reactivate it again. So the colors do dry up, but because you can always reactivate them again because they're watercolor paints. Okay, so now that we're done with this, we will let the stars dry and we will go back to our scholar book. Okay, somebody's asked some questions. Let me just go through it again. What is the difference in the two papers? Okay, so this paper is a rough watercolor paper, which means it has a very uneven texture and it absorbs a lot of water. This one is cold pressed, so it's got a lesser texture, but it has a really beautiful brightness of the colors. This is 300 GSM. Scholar Store sells 300 GSM watercolor pads. You can check it out there. Okay, so we can either do the same kind of stars for this, or what you can do is just take maybe a toothpick or a skewer stick. I have a skewer stick right now, so I'm just going to dip it in the poster colors that we made, and I'm making some dots. You can also paint it if you wish to. If you have like one big star that you want to make, just paint it in. I'm also going to try and use a white pen. This is a Uniball Signo. I'm just going to try and make a few dots with that. So yeah, I think I'm done with this one. But we are never done unless we sign our name. So let's sign our name too. Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. Actually, my name is Sefi George. I am from Mumbai. I teach anthropology at a design school and I'm also learning illustration. My Instagram handle is Summer Scribbles. You can check me out there. I post tutorials daily. You can learn a lot from trying out what I do. Okay, so I'll just keep this aside and we'll get back to our 2 bookmarks. You can use toothbrush for the stars. Yes, you definitely can. I usually use a toothbrush when I have a larger canvas to fill in because the flicks really go very far. But if you're doing something small like a little bookmark, a brush is enough. Okay, somebody wants to see the galaxy painting I kept for drying. Yes, you can. So this is on rough watercolor paper and this is on cold pressed. See, every painting that you make will look different because of the way the colors have mixed together and how the shades are made. Okay, so now that we have our basic galaxy ready, let's make the silhouette for it. So for the silhouette, you can use a black pen, a black gel pen, or you can use black watercolor paints. You can also use black poster paints, depending on what you want to draw. So for example, if I'm drawing, say, I think I'll draw some pine trees here. So for that, I'm going to be using poster colors. So same as before, I'm taking my palette. I'm scooping out a little bit of black watercolor, black poster color, taking a little bit of water, and I'm going to mix till it gets nice bubbles. Okay, and once that is done, I'm going to start painting. You can use black watercolor for this, it works. You may just have to do like a layer or 2 more, but poster color you'll get done in 1 layer. And just swipe your brush, make some trees. You can make any silhouette you want. You can make fir trees, you can make 2 people standing, you can make a dog, a cat, whatever you wish to. One of the most common ones is this pine trees, so I thought I'll teach that right now. Okay, so this one I did with poster colors. Now the next one I'll probably do with a regular black pen. For this, I'll try to make something like the tree I have made here. Okay, the brushes I'm using a watercolor brush by Himalaya, and I'm using a regular size 4 round brush. I use this to make the stars because it's a little more stiff and can splash easily. And for the one I did in the book, I used the DOMS watercolors and I used the brush that came with it. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to be using a black pen. This is a fine liner, but you can also use any gel pen that you have. And then just start coloring it. Okay, I think I took like too much area. This is going to take some time to color. Okay, while I'm coloring it, let me just check if there are any questions I can answer right now. Are you doing the mountains after this? What mountains? I mean, you can do anything that you want, it's a silhouette. You can draw any animal, any person, anything. Okay, why is this question pinned like this? Just a second. What is the difference between watercolors and poster color? Okay, so the similarity is that they both are water based, which means once they are dry, you can reactivate them again with water. So all those old poster color bottles that you have lying around that you think are absolutely dry and you can't be used, they can be reactivated with water and you can use them like normal. So the difference is that while watercolor is transparent, poster color is opaque. So you can build up layers in watercolor to make it darker, but poster color, once it dries, even if it looks patchy when it is wet, once it dries it looks really flat and matte. So watercolor usually just dyes the paper, whereas poster color stays on top of it, giving it a kind of chalky feel. Any other questions? Yeah, I do. So this live will be saved on Scholar Restore's page for 24 hours, and after that it will be uploaded as an IGTV video. So yeah, if you don't have your materials right now, you can definitely watch later and try it out. Can we use ivory sheet? Okay, so that's a very interesting question because ivory sheet is something I love to use. It depends on the kind of ivory sheet you have, because some of them they buckle a lot with watercolor, but with some ivory sheets it gives really nice effects. So the thing you said about hard edges, they will be very prominent in ivory sheet, but you can use that to your advantage and make it look really pretty. What are the other questions? What is the base you were using for sticking those papers? Okay, so I was using masking tape. This is a tape that kind of looks like paper. It's not very sticky. It's what painters use to, mask areas on the wall that they don't want to paint or to give like clean edges. I buy this from a hardware store. It's not very expensive and it's pretty good for paper. If you have any questions, please put it in the question box down below. I'm just trying to read the question and color this at the same time. I think my pen has kind of given up on me. Okay, I think I dipped it in paint a little, so it's working fine again. Yeah, if you're using a pen, please try to do something a little more simpler. Okay, now let me just make the tree. Remember, we're doing a silhouette, so you don't need to be too exact about how you're going to make the shades, etc. The whole thing is black, just like have fun with it. I'm just scribbling on some leaves here. You can use only poster color. You can dilute it and use it the way I have. It does, act a little like watercolor once it is when it is diluted. But the effect that you get may be slightly different, but still good. You can try this with any paints. The concept is the same. You need to have darker colors at the edges and lighter colors towards the middle. Maybe let's draw a person here also. I'm not very good at drawing people's silhouettes, but we can try. Did a little man there. Wow, there are a lot of questions. Masking tape takes a paper off while peeling it off. What to do to avoid it? So what I do to avoid is I peel it off from the edge. Okay, wait, my paint is still wet there. Don't go to the paper. Okay, so instead of tearing it out straight up, I tear it off at an angle. This usually prevents my paper from tearing, and that has worked for me almost every single time. Okay, it's not completely dry, so I did a mistake by kind of tearing it out, but yeah. So there is one. Let it dry a little bit more, then I will try to correct the edges a bit. This one needs to dry a little more because it is rough watercolor paper and it takes some time to actually dry. So I'll keep that aside, and maybe now I'll do a little tour of my Scholar sketchbook. I don't okay, I don't know how I've pinned this question, but it doesn't seem to be going from the screen. Okay, so this is just a sketchbook that I used to carry around while I was traveling. I'm doing a course in illustration which is based in Hoshangabad. So I used to travel there every month. And these were just some, in the train doodling or something of that sort. I won't show you all the sketches here because some of them are like really bad. But most of them are just experiments. I think now I'll turn on the comments so that I can see what you want to say. Yeah. So this was actually a mistake that happened. I dropped in some red paint on this page and didn't know what to do with it. Well, it ended up being flamingos. Then here's a little orange bonsai that I tried. This was a mistake page, but okay. This was a scene that I saw in the local train in Mumbai while I was traveling. The mother needed some rest, so she was fast asleep after giving the child her phone. So for these, I have used watercolors and I have used ink. So I've used a dip pen to draw this with Camel waterproof ink. I've done the same thing here. So this is ink and watercolor. These are all done using the Camel Artist, that 18 set watercolor cakes. There are so many comments coming, I can't even read it and do this at the same time. Yeah, these are just some rough sketches that I have made. Then these are some sketches that I did in the train while traveling. Yeah, this was a lady who was in our compartment and she just looked so pretty and dainty. I felt like drawing her. In which angle we can give the shades in a picture? I don't exactly understand that question. Could you rephrase it? Yeah, so this sketch is of a guy who's waiting for his Kappa Maggi noodles to get ready. He kept checking his clock to see if 2 minutes is up. Yeah. 1 second, did I show you my favorite page? Yeah, this was my favorite page. I used watercolors and waterproof ink here with a dip pen. I love how that line variation has happened here and I love the color too. This is the purple I was talking about. I mixed the 2 blues in the Camel Artist set to make this beautiful little purple. Then that's my friend who was also sketching just as I was. Then these are some splatter exercises that I just did. I just splattered some watercolor on it and then I tried to make some form out of it. This is a sketchbook by Scholar. It's a decor sketchbook. This is the A6 size. It's a really good book because it's got 130 GSM acid-free paper. So acid-free paper means it won't get yellow over time. It will retain the white brightness that it has. These are just some, in-class doodles. While I was listening to the professor, I was just making my own sketches and doodles. This is Pani Puri, something I'm sure all of us miss right now.